Good morning, this is Severin Sorensen and the AI Whisperer podcast. This is the first edition of the podcast, and I'm going to give you more background than normal. My goal will be to keep these podcast episodes down to about 15 minutes. I'm going to give you extended play today. On Monday this week, I recorded a podcast. I have a different podcast called the Arete Coach Podcast that is written and given for coaches, executive coaches, trying to help executive coaches use the evidence-based research for coaching and help them coach business leaders, particularly the small to medium-sized businesses, and that's the focus I have. I gave a podcast on Monday in concert with the release of the book, and I want you to have the background for that so you understand what the book is about, why it was prepared. I actually go through the first case study to show you how you read it and the types of questions you would use to do it. Following this podcast, new episodes will occur. The format of the episodes will be the following. I have the first 5 shows lined up. One is a summary of the AI Whisper. The second episode is how to be an effective whisperer and how to ask better questions. The third is the AI Whisper Business Case 1. Now, I will give you another example of how to use that in business. This podcast is designed for the non-technical business user to leverage the power of AI to help your business today. And our focus is to go deeper. You will hear me almost like a mantra. I want you to go deeper. Now think again, go deeper. What's another way to ask it? Because it's in going deeper and really mining for data that AI comes alive for us and we can do great things. I'm so excited for you to be able to participate in that. Show 4 is going to be about visual AI, doing cool things with some visual tools. I'll show you some creative art. We'll actually create art using one of the many tools on the show to be able to let you see how you can do it. And you're able to actually create great looking art within 30 minutes, which is amazing for people who might want to have been an artist or who are an artist who want to go to a superpower. And then the last show that we've got planned in terms of the first 5 for this series is training your team on AI. How do you as a business leader or as a member of your team suggest to your business leader, hey, this AI is something we need to look at. How do we train our team? How do we make it part of our daily cadence? What would training look like? What might some best practices be so that we get all in at helping our company lead? You're either going to be a leader or a follower in this. And if you're a follower, it might be a really hard day for you. I'd love for you to lead and figure out how to lean into the future. And without further ado, the full recording of the Arete Coach Podcast, episode 1122, and it's called The AI Whisperer. I hope you enjoy it.
This episode is titled The AI Whisperer. This is the Arete Coach Podcast with Severin Sorensen, with an episode reviewing a new book for executive coaches, entrepreneurs, business owners, CEOs, and key executives and their employees titled The AI Whisperer, Handbook for Leveraging Conversational Artificial Intelligence and ChatGPT for Business. A book available today on Amazon and paperback and Kindle. This is the Arete Coach Podcast, where each Monday we explore another topic of importance on the art and science of executive coaching. One of the great things about hosting a podcast is that you can talk about the things that matter most to you and your audience. On this day, I could think of nothing more important for business leaders and their employees than figuring out how to use and thoughtfully deploy artificial intelligence and automation in their businesses. There is a great need and urgency today for business leaders and their teams to understand and responsibly use AI. And despite the great fears out there that AI will take your job and capture your business, it won't. However, someone who knows how to use AI will. And that's the point of this podcast. How do you become an effective AI whisperer? First, a little background. As many of our listeners know, I'm a visited speaker and travel around frequently to visit chief executive and key executive groups on topics that matter most to them. On April 4th, 2023, I was in Ocala, Florida, enjoying a pre-meeting dinner with Florida Vistas Chair Bill Edgar, along with his wife, one of his Vistas group members, and their spouse. We had a lovely dinner, and Bill said to me, your topic of be agile, creative, and courageous in a crisis, it's a good one. And I understand from your topic description that at some point tomorrow we will focus on AI for business. However, in preparation for our meeting tomorrow, I polled my members, and what interests them is AI and how to use it for their businesses. Can you pull something out of your presentation and put more emphasis on AI for business in your presentation tomorrow? What a great challenge. I accepted. Bill Edgar had shared some wisdom that Peter Drucker had written so many years ago. If you want something new, you have to stop doing something old. I went back to my hotel room, fired up thinking about putting voice to some thoughts and materials that I prepared in the months since ChatGPT was released. Game on. I pivoted my presentation to a new title, Innovation Matters, the Science of Innovation, AI, and the Automation Imperative. The presentation starts out with questions to the peer executive group members to seed the innovation and AI conversation to follow. I divide the presentation into thirds. Part 1. What is the innovation you most need today? What are your pain points? What are your customers' pain points? Remembering the sage words of the Zen Buddhist saying, the obstacle is the path. We talk about how crisis creates opportunity for change, and so does pushing your team into a freefall with a Jellison J-curve. Either way, they move from their comfort zone into uncomfortably plunging, striving to learn, where not to learn brings peril. Over time, with focus and effort, they learn, create, and invent. Part 2 of the presentation explores the science of innovation in a methodical business process manner. What great leaders have said about innovation, and we explore the scholarly research on innovation drawing from Harvard, MIT, Toyota, Bain & Company, and others. We crosswalk through 6 stages of innovation and then role-play a team innovation ideation meeting where we seek a volunteer from the group who desires to innovate and think about their business in new ways. We introduce an ideation game from Deloitte called the Doblin Method, and we explore 10 ways to ideate about the company configuration, offering, or customer experience. Members in the group each get a card that shares a seed question for ideation for a potential innovation of the member's business. We next explore some preparations that members can make to set their own strategic planning retreat on innovation. Several other tools are shared, including the use of an MVP, lean management strategy map, and other ideation creation tools to help them find the best process. Then we pivot. Part 3, Accelerating Modernity with AI and Automation. This final segment of the group presentation starts with a chart from the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas looking at the potential labor force participation rate. And what is visible from this visual is a downward sloping red line reflecting the potential labor participation rate that is diminishing, meaning there are no new workers to hire, only workers who are already working for someone else, and to entice them away from their current employers will often require higher pay that leads to wage inflation. And this is a population structural problem. The working population capacity rate does not start coming back until most of Gen Z, born between 1997 and 2012, will have reached 18 years of age by 2030. So structurally, with no new workers to hire and insufficient number of new employees coming into the labor force, the 2023 imperative is innovation, AI, and automation. Next, we look at the workforce research on AI and automation from McKinsey & Company, looking at sectors where innovation is happening the quickest. Then we track the growth of computing and the rise of computing power and conversational intelligence of AI and ChatGPT and its many versions. We look at the leaders in the IP race for AI, and we begin to look at what current AI can do. I share an example of a cheeky humor of a picture that was drawn by DALL-E AI, an OpenAI tool, with some artwork that was created by my user prompts. I next share how visual AI is rapidly progressing, sharing a few examples. Next, I share an example of an AI persona that I created called Amelia Chatterley, and the great work she has done as a co-creator of analysis and insights for the Arete Coach and ePraxis. I share some of the early work samples of business projects completed with the help of Amelia in the form of books, research articles. Then it's time for show and tell. Inside the presentation, I drop into an AI demo with the group members, again asking for a volunteer, and we use one of the opening pain points or innovation hopes and dreams identified in the opening exercise. And then we dive right in, and we just keep going deeper and deeper and deeper. Usually the first word out of their mouth after their jaw drop is, wow. Most say, I had heard of ChatGPT and looked at it, but I did not see how it applied directly to my business or how I might use it. You went further and deeper than anyone I have seen, and I am so excited to get back to my office and get my team involved and start integrating AI into my business. I wrap up the session with AI prompts and scripts for Google Bard, ChatGPT, and other conversational prompts to get more out of AI. Like my quarterly economic outlook deck that must change frequently to accommodate the updated data, my Innovations Matters deck must change frequently as the pace of AI and innovation is exponentially accelerating. For example, last week in Rochester, New York, for another peer executive group, I shared what's next, that is, visual ChatGPT, where I shared the output for my recent deep dive into visual AI. I provided them an example of a seed photo that I shared of AI of my wife Jennifer and I from a family party a few years back. I prompted AI to use the faces in the photo, make it cinematic, period-like, and cast us in Viking, warlord, or war monk's attire from yesteryear. And then I worked with AI to refine the imagery until it achieved my desired results. Just like ChatGPT for wordplay, visual AI showed better and better iterative renderings of these images, where I must say, in the final images, my wife looks like a Viking queen that a king would burn forests down in tribute to. Okay, let's just say she looks stunning, and at the end of the presentation, jaw drops. Just wows all around. Some listening to this podcast will remember Don Waltzer, a former Vistage chair, who wrote me an email immediately following my presentation to his group last week. It reads, "I want to thank you for an amazing presentation to my executive development group yesterday. Your presentation was equal parts strategic, consultative, and magic show. You gave us great value, jamming a ton of information into the time we had. I can't thank you enough." Well, Don and Bill, I can't thank you enough for challenging me to raise my own level of contribution to your members. My mind has pondered how to help those who need help most with AI in our coaching industry and in the lives of businesses of our members, the ones we most care about. I have been asked repeatedly by members and clients, who trains on AI for businesses like ours? And to date, I've had little to offer them other than encouraging them to, well, you might go to Twitter or YouTube or scan or watch Instagram videos until now. I am adding in AI for Business as a core component of my executive coaching toolkit, and it will be a core offering of ePraxis going forward, including AI business consulting, training, and management consulting with direct implementations for business. One of my first tasks was to create an AI curriculum for small to medium-sized businesses on what AI is, how to use it, define dozens of use cases for AI, and then crosswalk non-technical business users how to ideate, select, structure, design, and implement AI for themselves. And this curriculum has now been made into a book and is available on Amazon. The AI Whisperer, Handbook for Leveraging Conversational Artificial Intelligence and ChatGPT for Business, is now available. The world changed dramatically on November 30th, 2022, with OpenAI's introduction of ChatGPT. Like no other technology before it, the use and application of ChatGPT has spread like wildfire to every continent. Within the first 5 days of release, the user population reached 1 million. Within the first 2 months, the user population climbed to 100 million. To give you some size of the proportionality of this technology shift, consider these past well-known startups and their growth. Here I'm using a chart from Statistica. ChatGPT sprints to 1 million users in 5 days. Compare this to Instagram, 2.5 months, Spotify, 5 months, Dropbox, 7 months, Facebook, 10 months, Foursquare, 13 months, Twitter, 2 years, Airbnb, 2.5 years, Kickstarter, 2.5 years, and Netflix, 3.5. And think about how huge each of those enterprises are today. It took just 5 days for ChatGPT to excite the world. Artificial intelligence has inspired science fiction authors for decades. The idea of the AI overlord taking control of humanity has been fodder for hundreds of pulp novels, movies, and comic books. That being the case, it's no surprise that the advent of true AI tools has been met with skepticism in most cases and even fear in others. For those who don't know, ChatGPT is a natural language processing tool driven by artificial technology that allows you to create written content, website code, emails, essays, and other things. Use cases include help with decision-making, data analysis, process automation, customer support, content creation, trend prediction, team collaboration, market research, training assistance, and more. Today, individuals communicate and direct ChatGPT and other generative conversational AI through prompts or requests that inform AI what you want it to do. For example, a user could request AI to analyze, assess, make recommendations, perform routine tasks, write articles, create ad copy, make forecasts, summarize research, create minutes and note summaries for a meeting, create training materials, receive help using Excel, or perhaps Python or Java. AI can do all that and more. It's an extremely powerful tool that has become the topic of heated debate and has even been banned in some countries. But is ChatGPT and other AI platforms rapidly hitting the market a reason to fear or rejoice? I posit that much like the advent of the electric light bulb that made candlelight a thing in the past, ChatGPT, Google Bard, and AI in general has much greater chance to improve our businesses than it does to harm them. Given the right prompts, it creates a form of superpower for the skilled user. If you know how to use these tools, that is. And that is where this book comes in. The terms AI Whisper or ChatGPT Whisper are informal, colloquial expressions used to describe people who have an exceptional ability to interact with and understand ChatGPT and other generative conversational AI language models. The person who possesses such ability can tap into the advanced knowledge of the model's inner workings, strengths, and weaknesses, effectively communicating with artificial intelligence to obtain relevant and accurate information or insights. The terms are derived from the concept of a horse whisperer or a dog whisperer, people known to have a unique talent for communicating with and understanding animals. I was intrigued recently by an article appearing on Bloomberg written by Conrad Quilty Harper on March 29, 2023. Under the article masthead, $335,000 pay for an AI whisperer job appears in red hot market. The fast-growing apps have created a seller's market for anyone, even liberal arts grads, capable of manipulating its output. Writes Quilty Harper, as the technology proliferates, many companies are finding they need someone to add rigor to their results. It's like an AI whisperer, says Albert Phelps, a prompt engineer from Mudano, part of consultancy firm of Accenture in Leytonstone, England. In the article, the author explores that a growing jobs market is emerging around large language models, called LLMs, with prompt engineers sought after to coax artificial intelligence to produce better results and train workforces to harness tools. Prompt engineers emerged in 2017 when AI researchers created pre-trained LLMs, which could be adapted to a wide range of tasks and the addition of human input. Anthropic, a Google-backed startup, and automated document reviewer Clarity, among others, are advertising for prompt engineering roles in California with salaries up to $335,000. The best paying roles often go to people with PhDs in machine learning or ethics, or those who have founded AI companies. There's indeed an emerging field for AI whisperers, providing richer and deeper prompt engineering for large models. Companies such as Google, TikTok, Netflix are driving up salaries in response. The article also mentioned that individuals with a background in history, philosophy, or English language are well suited to this role as they possess strong wordplay skills. I would think executive coaches have this same capability with their questioning. In short, not unlike a skilled carpenter or musician, if someone who understands how to use a tool, they will produce better results faster. Creative people who know how to ask the AI good questions will coax better responses and produce high-quality content more quickly. Anyone can swing a hammer and tap on a few nails, or pick up a violin and make it produce a sound. However, in the right hands, a skilled carpenter can build a palace, and a master violinist can create a musical masterpiece even from an old violin. The information herein will help individuals, entrepreneurs, CEOs, executives, and their employees take the waiting out of wanting to implement AI. And as my late coaching colleague, Richard Bosworth of London, used to say, information trends to be free, while implementation is what you pay for. So let's get you the information now. In this spirit of abundance, I share my insights on AI whispering for small and medium-sized businesses and their employees. This book will teach you how to leverage AI assistants like ChatGPT and Google Bard to enhance ideation, questioning, critical thinking, processing, application, and implementation skills for your business. Since 2020, my coaching and public speaking engagements have focused on introducing AI and automation topics to help businesses tackle labor shortages, empower employees, and prepare for the emerging use of AI and automation. I have closely followed the groundbreaking work of AI and robotics conducted by McKinsey & Company, as well as the invaluable annual reports from the Standard AI Index Project. It amazes me how many business leaders remained uninformed or unaware of AI's impact on our world, despite AI advancements like ChatGPT by OpenAI being in plain sight. During my business-focused workshops, I often witness participants' awestruck reactions when they realize the potential of AI for their businesses. However, some still deny that AI will have an impact on their operations. With this book, I aim to ignite your imagination and your insights. I hope this serves as a catalyst for you and your employees to explore the transformative potential of AI. As an executive coach, my mission is to awaken, challenge, and inspire clients to achieve more and attain better results. It is in this spirit that I share the essential material contained within this book. In my opinion, AI will not entirely replace jobs. Instead, it has the potential to create numerous new opportunities, including roles for fact checkers and those skilled at utilizing AI effectively. More crucially, I believe that your job won't be replaced by AI, but rather someone proficient in AI may take your position. To prevent this from happening, be proactive and take control of your own destiny starting today. Be the one who acts rather than the one acted upon. Now let's drop into the book. I want to give you an idea of what's happening. In the book, I start off with what is an AI whisperer? What is the art of questioning? And then I go into 50 ways businesses can use ChatGPT and other AI today. Prior to dropping into that, I talk about effective prompts and how to get the best results, teaching a waterfall method of going deeper, deeper, and deeper still. And then I offer 50 different case studies, and I'll just cite out a couple of them here. Drafting and editing marketing copy, social media content creation, blog post and article creation, email and newsletter templates, writing press releases, writing frequently asked sections for websites, writing product descriptions for online stores, and the list goes on through 50. Towards the end of the list, I write things such as using Chat as a Microsoft Excel workbook terminal, using Chat as a JavaScript console, using Chat as a Python script coder, and many other things that one might do. Now, all of this is great, but I have to give you a caution. There are some times that Chat throws out really wonky stuff, and it seems at times to become emotionally challenged. When you correct it, sometimes it wants to take its ball home and not play anymore. Has been my experience with a couple of the models, so I have to reopen another instance and invite it to play again. Now, dealing with errors is something that's important because you're going to find a lot of errors, even in writing this book. When I asked ChatGPT to help with resources, in some cases, even half of the resources that were produced by ChatGPT were bogus, wrong, the wrong things in place. And in the book, I give you examples of how to explore that and how to test that. When I was looking at the ability for, say, Google Bard to check it, Google Bard was much better at references, but still we found errors. None of the tools are perfect yet, and they still require human inspection to make sure that we understand what's going on. So let's drop into just one of these use cases and see what it is that we might be able to learn to give you an idea of what's in store for you when you crack the cover for this book. Let's start with use case number 1, drafting and editing marketing copy. One of the best ways to use ChatGPT is to create persuasive, engaging, and targeted marketing copy for all kinds of channels. This doesn't eliminate the need for a human editor, but it will create numerous different versions of text that allows you to save time, foster fresh ideas for websites, social media, emails, advertisements, etc. AI can help in refining the message and tailoring content for specific audiences. Here are 10 potential prompt threads that will get you started with AI today. How about this one? Suggestion 1. Suggest 5 headlines for an email campaign promoting our new product. You might add, and in the campaign, focus on our company personas. You could educate, or you could even ask him, what are the personas that you have? Item 2, write a catchy tagline for your upcoming sales event. Item 3, create a short, engaging product description for an online store listing. Or number 4, help me draft a copy for a Facebook ad featuring our latest service offering. 5, write an introductory paragraph for a blog post on the benefits of our product. How about this? Number 6, suggest ways to improve this existing marketing copy for clarity and impact. On that one, I have a lot of fun. Frequently, I'll have it write text and I'll say, write this for a 6th grader. Now write it for a college student. Now write it for an older person. And what's interesting, it will keep writing it in different ways. And by the way, you can even do language translation. If you were in South Florida, you could say, now rewrite in Spanish with a Cubano accent. And it will do just that. It's pretty amazing. So you can have it suggest marketing copy and do it for things that you want to do. Number 7, provide 3 call to action phrases for a landing page. This one's really important. Sometimes our ideas just aren't good enough. So what you can do is you can put different phrases in and say, give me some examples of call to action phrases. And then put some of the keywords you want. And if you don't like the concept, say, do you have any more? Or combine them, extend them. What might somebody in an alternative industry do that might be useful for ours? And each of those different types of prompts will cause AI to continue to pivot. And one of the things that's so interesting, in coaching, there is a strategy called the 5 whys, where we just keep asking why, all the way down the path going deeper and deeper. That strategy helps here as you just keep pivoting and trying to get it more and more refined to get your message. Number 8, generate several key selling points for our product or service. How about this one? Number 9, write a promotional tweet for our upcoming webinar. And for fun, have it suggest hashtags and emojis that we could add. And number 10, help me create an attention-grabbing subject line for our newsletter. Now those are just 10. And one could come up with many more, but you get the idea how you could use this for just one thing, where our focus is, how do we draft and edit marketing copy? Now, a word of caution here. When asking for marketing copy, make your prompt specific and clear to obtain more relevant and targeted results. If you receive unsatisfactory responses, consider providing more context or adjusting the phrase of your question. Remember, the better copy you put in, the better copy you will get. You can't write 1st grade level questions as your prompts and expect AI to give you Shakespeare. However, you can write your question and ask AI to write your solution at different grade levels, languages, and dialects. You can even ask it to print responses for different formats and links. Optimize for Instagram, optimize for Facebook, optimize for LinkedIn or Twitter. You can even ask it to add emojis and hashtag suggestions, and I do this all the time. Now, one of the things that I do in my writing is I will write several paragraphs or pages. Then I will open up ChatGPT and prompt, write better for, open with your quotation marks, paste your text, close with your quotation marks, and then indicate the type of document and the audience you want. Add your personally written text here. Then I will review the text output, edit, shape, reword, add new features, copy my markup comments, and paste changes into the entry box, preceded by the terms write better. You can even ask it to enlarge, reduce, summarize, create synopsis, create bullet points, write an abstract, or just give me the summary of this article in 140 characters, or summarize this entire article in 5 words or less. It can do all of that. All the while, the system gets better at listening and understanding to your prompts. Use these examples as templates for exploring the remaining cases over 49 listed plus a bunch of extras. Adapt the potential prompts, cautions, and resources in this book to suit your specific application. This will provide a comprehensive resource for users looking to understand and effectively utilize ChatGPT across a wide range of scenarios. Now, in each chapter, I list further resources. It is not enough just to ask Chat to do things. We need to go deeper. And going deeper often means finding more resources. So some resources I have for this one. In thinking about ad copy, I have in here provided Copywriting Secrets from Jim Edwards. It's a book on crafting compelling marketing copy. Copy Blogger at www.copyblogger provides blog tips with articles and resources on content marketing and copywriting. AWAI is the American Writers and Artists Institute, and they offer courses and resources on copywriting and content creation. And of course, the famous HubSpot. They have a blog at HubSpot with a 101 course called Content Principles, a marketing blog with numerous articles and copywriting best practices. Now, that's just one of the use cases that I have embellished with material from Asking Better Questions chapter. Now, how to use this book. You can clearly read it in one sitting. It's not a difficult book to read. However, you are likely to get more out of reading it by trying it out and using the chat prompts and going deep in an area you find most interesting or needed. There is a chapter inside on going deeper, wherein I provide a waterfall of follow-up questions to help you go deeper, redirect, refine, and clean up your chat results. There is also a chapter on finding errors in your work. Yes, chat makes errors, lots of them. Sometimes it's like a lazy student that gives a simple answer. Other times it's like a politician that gives the answer it wants to your question, regardless of how you've posed the question. At other times, it seems like it will work hard giving more detailed answers, and then it may send out smaller responses lacking consistency. In those cases, you need to work with it, coach it like you would one of your coaching clients or employees, and then follow up and inspect your work. I have been using Chat to check others' work, pasting results from, say, ChatGPT into Google Bard and vice versa. I've also identified other databases to check sources that are referenced in the book. Another way to approach this book is as a chapter of the month or book club for your group. You might decide to make the book one of your reading in your executive peer groups, inviting members to pick a chapter, experiment with it, and bring it back with the results to the group. The big thing is that unless you start with a curiosity-based mindset, this book is likely not going to help you. Nobody was a great AI whisperer when they started. Not all questions are good. And we need to learn to ask better questions to get better answers. We also need to ask the right question, and here using a coaching mindset and being curious will help your prompts and results. Executive coaches and peer group chairs have an advantage with ChatGPT and conversational AI. You are familiar with asking questions, and the art of the question is the most important, and then following through with the nuance of the question. I have included in the book material on Bloom's taxonomy of questions that can provide helpful verbal words and cues to create nuance in your search. Finally, there are appendices for going deeper with OpenAI ChatGPT exploring their keywords to go deeper on searches. Appendix 2 goes into detail about Boolean logic expressions that work with AI. Appendix 3 is an outline of potential training course for AI for business applications, and number 4 is an appendix for those looking to become AI whisperers, where I provide 3 position descriptions moving from general to the technical. This may be of interest to those desiring a new field of prompt engineering or whispering. And as I ponder it, I think it will allow those who actually went into non-economically viable careers, history, library science, philosophy, English, and others, to greatly expand their compensation and their pay, because it is the very word choice, the understanding of nuance, that can help one become a great chat whisperer today. And that provides a tidy summary of the book, having illustrated just one of 50 business use cases. If I sound like I'm excited, I am. I have not felt this enthused about thinking about how to help people and go deeper into something that will be truly meaningful for their lives in many years. Now, what's not in this book is an examination of visual AI. I've used visual AI to create the book cover, art, and illustrations for training, and it will be the topic of a future book, but it deserves its own book. This book was written specifically for the non-technical business user, and that means it was written for most of us. Now, moving forward. Many of you who know me know that I'm not one for small goals. A big goal is challenging. A big goal demands energy and attention. I have a big goal. And I have not felt this alive in years, and they say a goal not written or expressed is only a wish, so I'll lay my goal out here. Personally, I have a desire to reach, encourage, teach, and help 100,000 non-technical business users leverage AI for the small to medium-sized businesses, and I'd like to do that within the next 6 to 8 months. And I anticipate that this high water mark could be achieved by year end. We shall see. I anticipate my involvement will start with this book, published this week. I move into training materials development, new podcast episodes, guest interviews on other podcasts, participation in roundtables, workshops, and conferences. Additionally, I anticipate organizing and participating in AI management consulting activities from ideation stage through last mile completion of business-related AI projects. Behind the scenes, I have been searching the internet, interviewing software developers and prompt engineers, and gathering together a cadre of wise AI whisperers and senior-level prompt engineers to help me help entrepreneurs, business owners, CEOs, presidents, key executives, and their team bring ideas and plans to life. My goal is to help the non-technical business user leverage the power of AI to improve their businesses and, by extension, improve their personal lives. All this being said, I think it is quite possible that the near-term training boom in AI will peak and ebb quickly, perhaps by year-end, like a tidal wave washing over the shores, only to return back to sea. I also think standardization and commoditization of services will occur, making what is hard to do now much more simple to implement. The interest in AI and accessibility of tools will shorten the knowing-doing gap, particularly for the small to medium-sized businesses. Now, what I find interesting is that while I've followed AI loosely since 2020, until November 30th of 2020, I was largely unaware how far conversational AI had progressed. Yet on research, the large companies have had this capacity for several years and have been harvesting opportunity in the background, silently taking up market share and targeting their richer niche opportunities. Meanwhile, OpenAI, while not the creator of AI, had the audacity to open up ChatGPT for the common person, and it is accessible and powerful and getting better all the time, and for this I am truly grateful. Now, in my declaration of adding AI offering to my business practice, I'm not changing my career nor my target audience. I am merely enlarging my team and narrowing my personal participation to create space for AI in my wheelhouse. I will continue to focus on serving executive coaches and coaching small and mid-sized business owners, CEOs, presidents, key executives, and their teams. Additionally, I will continue to direct the operations of my executive coaching, executive recruiting practices at ePraxis with my capable team, and happily, I've added new members of my team and AI persona constructs this year to support me in this effort. I will continue the good work of Arete Coach, creating more evergreen coaching materials for executive coaches that promote the ICF coaching standards and evidence-based coaching practices. And I plan to continue hosting our weekly Arete Coach Podcast, though I'm likely to invite Ozzy and other friends to help me interview more great coaches so we don't lose their important stories. Additionally, I will continue my Vistage speaking and keynote presentations to CEO and key executive groups on hiring top talent, the economy, innovation matters. However, this weekend I have withdrawn 2 speaker programs from the shelf for a season, Leadership Storytelling and Pivot, Survive, and Thrive. This later program was consolidated into Innovation Matters, having created new space in my lineup. In concert with the release of this podcast and the book, I'm announcing a new speaker program called The AI Whisperer, and presentation outline has been submitted to Vistage over the weekend. I am also announcing today a new podcast titled The AI Whisperer Podcast that will be YouTube-based, visual, and include specific how-tos for many of the items in the book, and new AI applications that develop. The first episode of the AI Whisperer podcast releases later this week. Additionally, I am pulling together expert resources for the podcast and article curation, guest appearances, and they will also be available to perform last-mile connection services for businesses that know what they want but can't seem to complete the last-mile AI connection to leverage the power of AI in their businesses. I have more plans, but you get the idea. I desire to reach, encourage, teach, and help 100,000 non-technical business users leverage AI for the small to medium-sized businesses. Now to summarize. As Professor Shelley Palmer of Advanced Media at Syracuse University pointed out recently, AI will be used in many industries, but not necessarily replace human workers entirely. Palmer gave an interview on CNN stating, quote, "Jobs like middle managers, salespeople, writers and journalists, accountants and bookkeepers and doctors who specialize in things like drug interactions are doomed when it comes to the possibility of AI being incorporated into their jobs," unquote. She continued by pointing out jobs like these will all use AI. It's not going to replace you. Someone who knows how to use it well is going to take your job, and that's a guarantee, she says. The AI Whisperer was written to help you leverage the power of AI and stand out in your respective industries. By using AI tools to their advantage, you can not only keep your jobs, but do them much better and create a new superpower in your ability to add value to your skill sets and your contributions to your businesses. This book is not just a manual. It is an invitation to a journey of discovery, creativity, and growth. It will teach you to harness the power of AI to solve problems, create opportunities, and elevate your business to new heights. By learning to use sentence stems like help me ideate, create, explore, explain, discover, uncover, learn more, you will empower your AI companion to generate meaningful and insightful responses. There's no reason to be left behind. AI is here to stay. Learn to use it and give yourself and your team the advantage they need going into the future. I hope the information and insights in this book will rock your world, light your creative fire, and release the hounds of curiosity in some great work. And in your use of AI, I encourage you to be good, not evil. Be mindful to be ethical in your use of AI. Fire can forge metal into shapes of great value and strength, and fire can also burn down forests if not handled carefully. Make a present intention to be good and do good. May your own AI experience be a blessing to mankind to increase human potential and not a curse, as some AI fiction writers want us to believe. You have been listening to the Arete Coach Podcast with a special episode on the AI Whisperer, Handbook for Leveraging Conversational Artificial Intelligence and ChatGPT for Business, a book available today on Amazon in paperback and Kindle. If you found this podcast topic interesting, I'd be interested to hear from you and what you have found in your own searches, what discoveries you make, what cautions you share. You can reach me at Severin Sorensen on LinkedIn. You can also reach me at aretecoach.io and epraxis.com. Now, with each session of the podcast, we end with a few quotes for you to ponder, and our quotes today are several. First, from Socrates. The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. And I've never felt I knew nothing more than when I got into chat and realized I really do know nothing compared to the immensity of what's out there. So it's been exciting as a lifetime learner to just dive in. The beginning of wisdom is the definition of terms. That is precisely what is required to do great search and to be a great AI whisperer, is understanding terms and words and their meaning and wordplay and how to find nuance in asking better questions. Next, from Steve Jobs. Innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. I choose to be a leader. Who do you choose to be? I hope that you'll join me in trying to not only save jobs, but create the opportunity for jobs that can have lasting value and improve the quality of life, the revenue for your business, and the lives of your employees. I like another quote from Steve Jobs. Innovation is not about saying yes to everything. It's about saying no to all but the most crucial features. You'll notice in this podcast to create space for AI, I've had to slim down or hire other staff for things. I think you'll have to focus on this as well. Sometimes we have to say no in order to make room for yes. And this is the point of Peter Drucker's comment. If you want something new, you have to stop doing something old. So until next time, be your best self. Seek to uplift others, be good, and do good. You have been listening to Severin Sorensen and the Arete Coach Podcast, where we explore excellence in the art and science of executive coaching today.
I hope that you find this podcast helpful. Again, this is a special episode of the podcast, and on this particular podcast, I want to close with this urging. In closing, I encourage you to learn how to use AI to empower your best self, elevate your business and those around you, champion ethical AI, and make a positive impact. Until next time, be your best self, seek to uplift others, be good, and do good. You have been listening to the AI Whisperer podcast with Severin Sorensen. This podcast and the book, The AI Whisperer Handbook for Leveraging Conversational Artificial Intelligence and ChatGPT for Business, are copyright 2023 by Severin Sorensen. All rights reserved. See you next time.